and we're just going to have a little bit of fun with what's up with that. So, just a couple of interesting things to start us out this year. As I'm trying to be sensitive to my co-host, I stayed away from any snake or alligator stories.
Thank you.
Although there are an abundant amount out there, I stayed away from those. But here's one that I thought that was rather interesting. You know, the Guinness Book of World Records is always trying to find things to distinctly point out the uniqueness of a man and woman, and hooray for them.
How sexist.
Yeah. They have put into the Guinness Book of World Records a Russian individual who is the first to put together a working, retractable lightsaber.
What?
For Star Wars.
That can't be true.
Yeah. Guinness Book of World Records.
Why is that even a record? That's not a record.
Well, they say it is.
How can that
because
be
you
true?
know, so for you Star Wars fans, ever since the lightsabers came out, it's the desire has been to make it so that it retracts like they do in the movie, and nobody's been able to make that happen. There was a guy in Australia that kind of had something light-wise that but it didn't retract. But according to this, the Guinness Book of World Records, this Russian individual made a working lightsaber that retracts. There you go.
I mean, I'm looking at it, but I don't see how this is possible.
I don't write the news, Josh. I just report it.
Wow. I mean, it's a workaround. It can't be real.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just telling you. Okay, so here's my second golden find. Some of you out there have collections of things. Even Pastor Josh here has an amazing collections of things. And when Josh was young, and I wouldn't mock him, but I would say, what's the point of that, son? And he would tell me, Dad, this is my retirement. This is an investment in my future. And I'm like, sure. So then I would tease him about the understanding of, show me a buyer. Fair market value. Something is only as valuable as somebody's willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's the tax definition of fair market value.
Yep.
Well, here's something.
Do you remember when all those people who had all those houses and thought that their investments that they were collecting was worth something?
Yeah, and it turned out to be worth nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know. Interesting time we live in. Well, I wish to point out that there was an auction recently of Spider-Man art.
Oh, yeah.
1984 black suit.
Uh-huh.
Sold at auction for $3.36 million.
Yeah.
With an M. Million.
Yeah, that's not hard to believe.
That's amazing.
Yeah, of course. Have
Yeah.
you gone back and looked at... Yeah, comic books appreciate in value. If you get the right ones, they appreciate in value. And the art from comic books goes up in value, too.
That just boggles my mind.
Well, it shouldn't. It's a well-established fact.
I do remember they used to have a couple of programs on air about people that, had miraculous artwork and what have you. Fox has a deal, they call it something inheritances, where people inherit different things, and what do they do with it. So I do remember hearing a story about an individual back on the East Coast that had a comic book collection that was stored up in the attic. It was like a boardwalk type deal.
Yeah.
And one of the hurricanes came through and destroyed the boardwalk and destroyed his business. But when they were going through the trash to see what was salvageable, the books, because of the way they'd been boxed up, the comics and what
That's
have you,
right. You got to bag and board those books.
they were packaged in such a way that they weren't damaged by the storm. He made enough money from the sale of those comic books to completely rebuild his business.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's amazing. You know.
Well, my comic book collection isn't quite worth that, so I try to get older comic books, but it's hard to get them.
Yeah, very hard.
So it's because they used to. Here's a what's up with that for you. The reason why comic books shot up in value and became so valuable, especially the Golden Age comic books from the 1940s, is because the original print runs were torn up and used as packaging for World War II.
Yeah.
And so basically there's only so many surviving copies of the old school comics because they were used for World War II.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Back in those days, if something looked like it had like it had run its course, they just repurposed it because of the shortage of things.
That's right. So what we got to do to get comic books to go up in value is to get people to destroy them. And that's what it is. It's supply demand.
That's what it's all about. And we will have a program where we talk about supply and demand. But for our purposes today, I think we're done.
Okay. Let's go ahead and sum up the show then. I was not prepared for that. I don't know why I wasn't prepared for that.